everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division in the Great Outdoors Tournament. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. So, for those of you that do not want to listen to the intro, go down to the video description down below and press the timestamp for hole 1 and just get going. Before we start here, go over to golf-tommy.com. You can find all the content for the Great Outdoors Tournament there, but also sign up on patreon.com/golf-tommy to get the updated text guide where I go into detail on what you need to take as an adjustment, spin, curl, overpower, or whatever to maximize your possibility doing well in the tournament. Also, if you like the video, hit thumbs up. In this playthrough in Master, it's gonna be short, but it's also going to be around 15 minutes, and I'm going to cover some of the par 3s with kingmakers, but also win 5 balls. There is also going to be a par 5 where I'm going to cover with a kingmaker and also with the power 4 ball. I'm trying to use just kingmaker to give everyone a chance to do well in Masters. So 1, 2, 3, let's go. Hole number 1. And here we're going to play max topspin and as much side spin to the right that we can. And we're going to play 20% over adjusted here. And as you can see, I have an Apocalypse level 7, which makes it possible for me to play with a power 3 ball. And I would say with Apocalypse 5 plus, you should have no problem playing with a power 3 ball. But if you do feel that you want to have some margin, use a power 4 ball and give yourself more distance. The plan here is to get the ball as far down the fairway possible and then to have ourselves either a short iron shot or a long iron shot towards the pin. Second shot here, we're going to over adjust 10%. We don't need more. And have in mind here that this, when we bounce on the fairway here before the green, the ball is going to be pushed to the right. It's a little bit strange, but something that we do need to think about while playing this shot. I'm using max backspin on my Goliath, which is 6 bars, aiming for the pin, and then I'm going to adjust for minimum distance with a 10% extra. So 10% for the second shot and 20% for the drive. And you can see we're going to take our shot. Great! And that's going to most definitely make us miss to the right. Let's go over to hole number 2. Hole number 2 is a par 3, and here we are going to play it slightly different than what it is in other divisions. We're still going to play the rough bump, and with a power 3 ball, 3 bars backspin and 1.8 bars side spin to the left. Yellow ring just there by the rough line. You can see that I'm leaving around 2 to 2.5 green squares for the tip of the ball guideline before the pin starts. Now we're going to play minimum distance with a 20% over adjustment, so 2-0, so 20. And we're going to go with no curl whatsoever, and then we're going to make sure that we're going to hit this ball perfect, because we are aiming very close to the rough. But once again, I do feel that this is going to be the better way for us to play than trying to bounce ourselves towards the pin. So we bounce very nicely on the rough, and we roll and we roll, and we're getting this ball in the hole in 1 for a boom. For the second shot, we're going to, on hole 2, we're going to play with a wind 5 ball, power 0. Here you can play with whatever wind 5 ball you have. The only thing that you need to do is 3 bars backspin and 1.8 bars side spin to the left. Make sure here though that we're not going this short that I'm doing. We do want to be around 1 green square before the pin. So we need to move our target up a little bit more. The adjustment for us here is going to be maximum distance plus 15%, so 15%. So it slightly changes here because we're going to change ball, and that is something that you do need to have in mind. We bounce in the rough here once again, and as you can see we have a perfect line because it's coming into the pin, but as we are so short, we are going to get the ball to move over more towards the right. Move up the target, and we're gonna do that better. 20% extra for the drive on hole number 3. And with an Apocalypse level 7, I always play this shot 1-1, which is 20% extra. We're going to go with max side spin to the right. I'm going to use 6 to 7 bars of topspin. Leave the blue ring by the rough line with a little space there to the right. And then we're going to go with the curl that's shown here on the video, where we take the ball to make the right side of the ball to be just by the line to the outer part of the ring. Second shot here now we're going to play with max side spin, no top spin, no back spin. Blue ring by the rough line there to the right. And then we're going to play max distance with nothing extra. So no elevation for the second shot. We're just going to play it, we're just going to play it as it is and give ourselves the max distance number. Last but not least, we're going to use the curl, and the curl is going to be exactly as shown. So the ball should be just outside the adjustment ring there to the right, and then we're gonna come in very nicely towards the pin. You can see we like the angle, and the ball rolls and it rolls and rolls, and we get the ball in the hole. Not something that we do expect to drop, but something that is very nice to have in our bag, that, you know, if we have our day, then we're gonna get that ball in the hole. Hole number 4, I'm going to show you 2 approaches with Apocalypse, both of them. One with a Kingmaker, or let's say a rival ball. It's the same stats as a King. And so here we do have hole number 4, and we're going to use max backspin and as much side spin to the right possible. And the thing that we're going to do then is that we're going to play medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. Half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. And the ball is going to bounce nicely on the fairway, and it's going to come in here towards the pin. And now we are very close to get that one in the hole. Shot number 2 is going to be with a more wind resistance ball, and it's still going to be with the Apocalypse as I'm playing this one for the rough bump. And I do believe that a side spin 3 is a must to play this shot that I'm going to do here now. Side spin 2, it's not going to have enough side spin to kick ourselves in towards the left. 3 bars backspin, and I'm going to play it maximum distance with a 15, so 15% extra. And last but not least, we're going to go with a smidge of curl to the right. Just a little bit to touch the inside arrows to the left. No, not to the right, to the left, of course. Curl to the left. And we bounce there on the rough, and we're coming in here very nicely towards the green, towards the pin. A little bit more to the left, and we have the hole in one there. Hole number 5, the most boring hole in this tournament in my opinion. And I'm going to use as much topspin that I can, combined with as much side spin that I possibly can. Looking for the ball guideline to be in between the bunker to the left and the rough to the right. Max distance with a 10% over adjustment. And then we're gonna go with slight overpower with a slight curl to the right, not much. And the plan for us here is to just give ourselves the distance, so we should have no problem to reach for the green in 2. And once again, this hole, I'm not playing for the eagle. I'm playing to get close, obviously. But I'm not putting that much effort into this hole, as I do feel that the second shot here is, you know, so hard to do something well out. Here, we can decide from 2 things. If you do have a sniper 10, you can use the sniper 10 in its backspin. Or if you do have a guardian, use the guardian that you do have a lot of backspin. Because now we're going to use the fairway on the side of the green, and we're going to curl ourselves in towards the pin. And this is going to be possible to make because we do have some headwind with our wind adjustment here. And something that, you know, it's an easier shot than trying to bounce over or trying to do for a rough bump or a sand bump or something like that. I feel that we're going to mess those up more than we are going to drop it. So therefore, I do feel that just playing the safe route to the left and coming in here is still going to give ourselves a decent chance for, not that decent, but it's still going to give us a chance for the eagle, but not that good. Hole number 6, I'm going to show you 2 approaches, one with a power 4 ball and one with a regular Kingmaker. First, if you do want to try to get over the rough there on top without bouncing into the rough and be lucky to roll out, then you need to play with a power 4 ball minimum. There is those new balls as well, where we do have the Great Outdoors ball, there is also the egg ball, there is also the gridiron ball and stuff like that. But power 4 ball, max top spin, 20% extra, and then we're gonna get over there if you do have an Apocalypse level 7, or I would say Apocalypse level 6 will make it as well many of the times. Now for the second shot, we're going to go for the rough bump. 3 bars top spin and as much side spin to the right possible. Let the yellow ring just be there with the ball guideline going through the hole around 2 to 3 green squares. Because every time we bounce our ball in the rough, we're going to have a massive compressed ball guideline. So if we don't want to go short, we need to let the ball guideline go through the hole. Unfortunately, I hit this ball great, but with a perfect shot, I do think we would be very, very close to get that ball in the hole for an albatross. What do you do if you have a lower level club, or you might just have power 3 balls? Then you're going to play on the right side. And you use as much top spin that you can, combined with using 4 to 5 bars of side spin to the right. Then in the end, we're going to use around 1 to 1.5 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. And then we're going to go with feeling, trying to judge how much overpower we need to get. Around 50% to 75% depending on what type of driver you're having. We do not want to get this ball to roll into the rough, obviously. But we do want this ball to get as far down as possible. For the second shot, we do have a rough bump here. It's not a shot that I'm going to go for the pin on here. I'm just going to try to get this ball to the green. So I'm using a club like the Cataclysm or the Big Dog to give myself distance so I don't have to max overpower my sniper. Using 4 to 5 bars of top spin to just make sure that if I do have a very bad shot, I'm still gonna roll out from the rough and get my ball towards the green. I'm once again only looking for an eagle here. I'm not looking for an albatross with this approach, and that's why also I wanted to show you this approach, as this is purely for you that do not have the special balls or the higher level clubs that you can reach over, as the first example there with a power 4. Hole number 7. As the other par 3s, I'm going to show you 2 approaches here. This one is going to be very weird. Look at the ball guideline. Blue ring by the rough line. 2 bar side spin to the right with 1.5 bar backspin. Once you have done that and you move your target up so you have half of the blue ring inside the rough in the end. The ball guideline should be around, 5 green squares to the left, but it's better to use the blue ring as a reference mark with the sniper. No curl, no overpower, nothing. We played maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And you can see here that even if we offset it so much, we come in very nicely towards the pin. And that is a shot where if you do have a kingmaker, that is definitely something that you could continue to go with and have good results with it. When we play with a more wind resistance ball, there is an aggressive route to play with a wind 5 side spin 3 ball. 1 and a smidge backspin with a max side spin to the left. And then ball guideline goes through the hole, and then we're going to play this one minimum distance with a 5% extra. In this example here, I'm using 10% extra as an adjustment, but we do want to change to 5 as we do not want the ball to get that close. You can see we're just hitting the edge there. So we do want to use 5% extra instead of 10%. So minimum distance plus 5. Hole number 8, and here I do have an example with just a regular rival ball, which is a kingmaker, 6 bars top spin and as much side spin to the right. Take a look at the ball guideline, as I do have the white ring by the rough line and the ball guideline, the second bounce in the rough by the bunker. We do want to deliberately aim that one a little bit higher, combined with a little bit more to the right to compensate for the compressed, and combined with the push that we're gonna get from to the left by the wind. We bounce here on the fairway, we bounce in the rough, and then we get a little glitchy roll here, but just that you hit the rough, the ball is gonna have no problem to stop, and we're gonna find ourselves with an easy wedge or an easy putt towards the pin for an eagle. Hole 8 is a must. Hole number 9, here I do have only a kingmaker approach. If you do want to play with less overpower, then you play with a power 4 ball or a power 5 ball. Maximum distance with nothing extra. max topspin with as much side spin to the right possible, and then I'm go full blast overpower. And obviously the plan here is to hit the ball perfect. And the ball now is going to bounce on the fairway, and we're gonna use the topspin that we're having on our club to get the ball to roll down here on the fairway to give ourselves more than 450 yards. So if we get over 450 yards, we are going to have a decent chance for the rough bump here. Max side spin to the right, and I'm also using 2.5 bar topspin here in this example. And now you can see I deliberately aim slightly to the right of the pin, but that's not needed. I would say aim at the pin to have an easier time to replicate your shot. And then we're going to play this one maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. The reason we play 20% instead of 10 is because we're using side spin in the wind, and therefore we need to add more because we're gonna get an extra kick by the bounce here towards the left. So 20% extra for this shot, and you know, if we're lucky, we're gonna get this one in the hole for an albatross. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Master. There is a lot of content in this one, and I wanted to show you a regular Kingmaker and a more, you know, special ball approach on the par 3s. Also on hole 6, I think it was very valuable to have two approaches there, because I do see a lot of discussion from people wanting to know what to do if they have an Apocalypse level 5 or 6 instead of having an Apocalypse level 7 for that hole number 6. I do believe we're going to see scores around -30, -32 in Master, even though it's a tough tournament with tough wins, but there will always be players be dialed in. Let me know if you do have any questions. You can ask questions through the website, through the contact page, golfclashtommy.com. And once again, you can sign up on patreon.com/golfclashtommy to get the updated text guides. In the end, hit thumbs up, and the video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the Great Outdoors tournament.